So for those people who don't know, it is a dictionary of things there should be words for but aren't, and all the words themselves are recycled place names.
Yes.
So epping, as I mentioned before, epping is the fruitless movements of forefingers and eyebrows when failing to attract the attention of a waiter or barman. So kettering is the marks left on your bottom and thighs after sitting sunbathing on a wickerwork chair. What else? Woking, something Douglas is very good at. Woking is standing in the kitchen wondering what you came in here for. So it's a lovely idea, and it was great fun to do. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a piece of work so much.
Yes.
But it's slightly embarrassing because one of the reasons the book's lasted so long as it got traction is because there are things in there you will find that you think only you had that, only you had noticed that or had that happen to you.
Have any of them actually gone properly into usage, do you think? Is there any that are so popular that they've cropped up and are being used in real life?
I think the one that's quoted most often is the bodmin,
right?
Which is when a large group of people go out for a meal together and then they split the bill. There's always a little bit left over that you have to pick up, which is the bodmin.
Yes, it's good. That is good.
The one I use all the time is a lamb lash, which is the folder on a hotel dressing table full of astoundingly dull information. Douglas is, not his agent now, but Nora, who runs his estate, she emailed me saying for something the book was doing quite well and something, and she said, I'm absolutely crabooning about this one, and I had to look that up. Do you know what a craboon is? No. To craboon is to shout boisterously from a cliff, which is just so wonderful, isn't it? But she uses that all the time, you know.
Well, that's not. It's nice if they do. I'm sure they become in-jokes for people, but then you are sort of looking out for little. There's always those things the thing that I just noticed this week is because I cut my finger. I've put a plaster on my middle finger, and then realised in this modern age how inconvenient that is because you use those on a computer. You're using two fingers to swipe, and you can't, even though you could use any two fingers, you're so used to instinctively using your middle finger. Yeah. It becomes absolutely impossible to do anything on an Apple Mac, and there should be a word for that. But it's when new things happen, but also, it's just the delight. There's a leap of imagination, and I can really imagine you two sitting down and drinking some Retsina and coming up with new ones, and some of them really making you laugh, and some of them not working, and some of them then reworking.
A lot of arguing about.
Of course. But it's when writing, and as we were sort of discussing beforehand, a lot of writing partnerships, some succeed and people stay friends, and some betrayals happen or things happen between people that mean that the friendship never gets repaired. But I think of all the things I remember of working with someone very intensely for 10 or 15 years, those moments where you're both just really making each other cry with laughter make it all sort of worthwhile. I think Aid Edmondson was talking about that his mum remembered him and Rick just howling with laughter as they were writing stuff, and often with stuff that you don't even then go and do anything with. Yeah. It's just the fun you have. I think, like I've said this before, Moon on a Stick, which became our big thing, was something we said to each other for years before we even started, and did the bit without even ever thinking about putting it in the act, just because it made us laugh. And so sometimes you go, oh yeah, maybe we should do that for other people.
Well, it's why we do it at the end, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I go back a long way with Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, well, amazing.
Who's famously, I'm just talking to one of his writers the other day, so Rowan goes, oh yeah, yes, they're quite good. Needs work. That's what. But I've got something about Rowan, me, tickles Rowan. So if we're on holiday together, you just completely lose it. And it's so wonderful. Because you know how straight and serious and polite and, he is.
Yes.
But ones that have gone into usage, we're both old enough to remember the symbol for when a bus broke down, double-decker bus, they put one of the seat cushions up down the back. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that apparently is called an edge baston. I don't think they do it anymore, but it was in the 80s.
Amazing.
It got into the language.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fun, but also I think there's something nice about them that you have to go and look them up a bit as well, that they aren't instantly memorable, so that when you come back and you can definitely read this book. You can take a year off this book and come back to this book and then go, oh yes, I'm still laughing at this. Yeah. You might remember or you might not remember, or suddenly one might just really resonate. How much did you? I noticed there was for Ma Ruig, I might have written it down wrong. The inexpressible horror of waking up in the morning and remembering your Frankie Boyle, which I presume was not in the
No,
not in the original.
That was we
you've
did
changed the name, have you?
In 2013
Yeah.
for the 30th anniversary. I just tidied it up a bit. I took out some of it because, it was basically written in the 70s.
Of course.
So a lot of it's got a little bit, tacky now.
Yes.
I think that was somebody different. It wasn't Frankie, obviously. And I think it's not fair. I love Frankie Boyle. So I don't think
I quite like that you chose him because it's not an obvious choice because he's not like naff and he's quite cool, but it's quite funny. It's quite a funny idea. I'm sure he would find it. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he'd find it amusing or not. You can't tell with Frankie.
I don't know, but there's also the thing I noticed that, for example, whenever I see a light switch, we see one here, but an ockle, which is a switch that appears to be off in both positions, you know that?
Yes.
And if I've got a cold, I always remind of skronky, which a skronky is something that hits the window after a violent sneeze. Oh, no, it's a skronky right there.